Welcome into the No BS Fantasy Football Show, powered by Walter Picks. And today we have an amazing one talking about the top 15 running backs for week one. Plus, an RB sleeper I think will be in a lot of tough starts to decisions that I think is worth a go this week. By the way, we're going to be making videos like this every single week. So glad you made it to this one. If you want to follow along all season for the best fantasy football advice, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. It is a huge support to a new YouTube channel like this. Number 15, I've got Kyren Williams, last year's RB11. Now, that comes with a few challenges because last year, while he was RB11, he didn't have a lot of major competition. You see his rush share, 73.7. This is why I love using the Walter Picks app. It adds context that other apps like ESPN Sleeper don't have. You can see he was RB1 in terms of rush share last season. They added Jarquez Hunter from the draft, a lot more explosive. They've got Blake Corum, who I think could be a good addition as well, which means he may not get all that rush share that he had last season. But I still like him. I still think he's a good running back, and I see a lot of touchdown upside in this week one matchup. Number 14 is Jonathan Taylor. And you look at his points per game last season, 17.1. It is a little bit misleading. So we're going to jump into the game log here, and we're going to see that he had a couple huge games at the beginning of the season, and then a couple huge games. He went on a run at the end of the season. Now, he's got Daniel Jones. I see that as a big upgrade for him. I like the addition of Tyler Warren, but that also comes with some issues because Tyler Warren, great tush-push guy that could steal a couple red zone touchdowns, whether in the receiving game or in the pass game. Daniel Jones could steal some touchdowns as well. I really want to see how this Colts offense is operating week one before I move Jonathan Taylor too far up the list. 13 is Treveyon Henderson. I actually think this is a great pick for DFS lineups because I think he's going to be cheaper than he should be and have an explosive week one against the Raiders. You saw him in the preseason. First time he touched the football, he returned a kick for a touchdown. He's had some long plays. He's shown some explosiveness. He's going to be involved in the rush and pass game. And a lot of people may be worried about Ramondre Stevenson, but this will be the Treveyon Henderson show. He's an amazing start for week one. I've got him ranked higher than a lot of people. I think he has to be in your lineup. James Conner is my RB11. You can see last year he was amazing. RB15, which isn't quite as good as RB11, but you can see almost 16 points per game. They are talking a lot more about Trey Benson being involved. So we'll have to see how that goes because Trey Benson was not involved at all last season. But you see some huge games, especially at the end of the season, including an RB1, RB7, RB6 week. He definitely has some major potential. In week one, that's especially why he's ranked highly this week. He's facing off against the Saints. So I think Trey Benson will get some extra run in this game as well. But either way, it should be a ton of rushing for this Cardinals offense. Number 11, I've got Ashton Jeanty. And this may be too high for some because he's just a rookie. This also may be too low for others who drafted him in the first round. I also drafted him in the first round of one of my leagues. It's a keeper league, so that gave him a little bit extra boost. But I do have him a little bit lower week one facing the Patriots. I think they're going to be a decently strong defense. We also have that Jacoby Myers issue. Is he going to play? Is he not? Right now, it looks like he will play, but you never know. And that would definitely hurt the Raiders offense. And overall, I just want to see what he does. I mean, top 12, week one, first game in the NFL. I think that's already an accomplishment for fantasy football. He could be better than this, but I also see a situation where he could be a little worse. We're just going to have to see how good this Raiders offense can be. Plus, I also like the Patriots offense with Stephon Diggs, Treveyon Henderson, who I already talked about, Drake May. If the Patriots can build a lead, he may not get as many touches, as much rush share as he might need to be a top-tier running back for week one. Number 10 is maybe the scariest running back on this list because honestly, he really could be RB1. If he had no injury concerns whatsoever, I would probably have him top 3. I don't know, maybe even number 1 this week because he's that good. He's that explosive. We go to his game log and we look at his games with Tua. First 2 games of the season, 23 fantasy points, RB3, just like I talked about, top 3. Week 2 against Buffalo, 29.5 fantasy points. Had to zoom in there. I'm getting some new glasses here, so give me a break. But he was RB2. And then we scroll down towards the end of the season. He had another week, 26 points, 32 points. He was RB2. He has that massive potential to be amazing in this Miami offense. Tua just has to stay healthy, which he is, and Achane has to stay healthy, which he is. And if he can do that, I think he's going to be amazing. But with the risk of the injury, with Ollie Gordon potentially stealing a touchdown or even 2 this game, I think I'm going to go with Achane at number 10. Number 9 is Bucky Irving, someone I know a lot of people were excited to draft this year, and I like him as well. We're going to head right to the game log on the Walter Picks app. But before we do, we can see his rush share last year, only 37th in the league, not even an RB3 in rush share. 41.7%. So obviously that grew over the season. His rushing touchdown rate, 36th in the league, 3.7%. So not the best stats, which means honestly, that's honestly good in my opinion, because there's a lot of room for him to grow this year. So he didn't start off the season well, but we started off in week 6. He scored 16 points, then 16 points, 15 points. And then at the end of the year, he scored 27. He had a week with 2, then 13, 18, 23, 16 points per game. That is some amazing end to the season there. So I'm really excited about Bucky Irving this year. He's going to be great in the pass game. You look at this Bucs team week 1, K. Dotton is hurt. Chris Godwin was hurt. Jalen McMillan is hurt as well. So it's Mike Evans, Egbuka, and Bucky Irving. He's due for an amazing week 1 against the Falcons. Now, the Falcons did upgrade their defense. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I do think Bucky is a top 10 running back for week 1. Number 8 is Chase Brown. I know he's facing that really tough Cleveland defense, but the touchdown upside is insane. Let's go to his game log as well, because it just doesn't show how good he was at the end of the season. From week 9 to week 15, he was a top 10 RB every single week. And against Cleveland, they have Mason Graham. They have Myles Garrett. If you don't know Mason Graham, he's a rookie addition to this defensive line for the Browns. I think he's going to be amazing. I'm very excited to see how this defense does this year. But Chase Brown, he's going to have great receiving options. He doesn't have a lot of competition. The Bengals score a ton of points. So it's never going to be a surprise if he scores 2 touchdowns in a single week. In week 1 against the Browns, I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game, even though he's facing a tough defense, which gives him insane upside. Again, I like him as a DFS option. He's going to be somewhat expensive, but I think he's going to be cheaper than he should be, and I'm going to like him to score a touchdown week 1. Now, I'm not an anytime touchdown guy, but Chase Brown is someone I definitely like on a week-to-week basis, someone I think will score a lot of touchdowns this year. I'm very excited for him, and if you draft him for your team, I think you should be ecstatic. He was a deal in every single draft, and I hope you are waiting to see him high on this list, because there may be weeks where he's even higher, maybe top 3, maybe even a consistent top 5 guy. Just depends how often he's getting those rushing touchdowns in this Bengals offense. Number 7 is one of my most drafted RBs this season, Derrick Henry. Now, week 1, he's playing against the Bills. We're going to have to see how much Lamar Jackson runs as well. Last year, Lamar Jackson had a 50% rush share in week 1. Derrick Henry's first game with the Ravens. Now we know what Derrick Henry can deliver. He's absolutely insane last year. You can see on the Walter Picks app, the RB4 last year in terms of points per game. He scored so many touchdowns, absolutely elite. Just overall amazing running back. I don't have too much else to say here. It's going to be a great game against the Bills. The only downside here is I guess he doesn't have a lot of receiving upside, but it's just going to come down to how much does Lamar take week 1? How much do they give to Henry? But I think Henry's going to be a top tier option week in, week out. Honestly, a steal in so many drafts, especially if you draft on ESPN. I did 2 drafts already on ESPN and was able to get him around pick 17, 18, 19. I think his ADP on ESPN was pick 19, while on Sleeper, it's around pick 7. So if you draft on ESPN, you got an absolute steal here with Derrick Henry. I think on Sleeper, you probably got the right pick as well at pick 7. So very excited for Derrick Henry week 1. And this is the type of player I would do an anytime touchdown on, because he scores so many. And I love Derrick Henry to score week 1. 6, and maybe surprise for some of you guys, is Alvin Kamara. But all we got to do is head right to the game log, because you can see he was RB5 last season and RB6 week 1 last year. RB1 week 2 last year, scored 44 points. RB4 week 4 last. So he is absolutely insane, especially to start the season. And I see against the Cardinals, there's going to be so much passing. He's going to have so many targets. It's just unreal. We're going to scroll over in the advanced game logs on the Walter Picks app. You can see here, his receptions, his targets are like a wide receiver 1. We're looking at his receptions, second in the league for running backs, almost 5 receptions per game. And you can see week 2, he didn't have that many, but week 1, 5, week 3, 3, 7, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5. He just has insane reception upside each and every week. And while he's healthy, while the Saints aren't way back in the standings, of course, everybody starts 0-0 week 1. Alvin Kamara is going to see so much work that he is a must start and going to be a top tier option. Honestly, he's a guy I might even try to trade for before week 1 and then try to trade away later in the season, because Alvin Kamara absolutely going to crush. On to our top 5. And by the way, guys, if you do have any start sit questions, since this is a new page, I will be answering every single one in the comments. So drop any of your start sits down below. Please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe as we talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. And some of you may be surprised to see him at number 5. I think he's going to be amazing this year. I simply do. But let's go quickly to the game log, because we need to do a little bit of remembering from last season. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, he was RB15, RB10, RB14, RB12. He was RB1 week 7, but most of the year until David Montgomery got hurt at the end of the season. That's what we're looking at the Walter Picks app. At the end of the season, week 15, I think David Montgomery that was his first week out. RB2, RB7, RB2, RB1, while David Montgomery was out. But before that, Jahmyr Gibbs only had 2 top 5 weeks the entire season. So I think Gibbs is going to be amazing. I think he's going to crush. I think they're going to lean on him even more with Frank Ragnow gone, with Ben Johnson gone. But you got to remember, when David Montgomery is here, Gibbs is a top-tier guy. He's not normally a top 5 guy because David Montgomery steals so many touchdowns. So David Montgomery's healthy. David Montgomery will be playing week 1. So that's why I have Gibbs at number 5, while other people may have him higher. Remember, David Montgomery's back. We can't forget about that. So many people are forgetting about that. They just have the end of the season eyes. You know, they forget the beginning of the year when there were a lot of weeks he finished outside 7, 8, 9, 10. He finished outside the top 7 running backs. So while he was great, he's not going to be scoring the amazing points every single week when David Montgomery is in the lineup. My surprise of the video is number 4, Josh Jacobs. Now, I absolutely love this guy this year for his touchdown upside. Now, there's a couple reasons that I especially like him week 1. He's facing off against that Lions team. Their secondary is a lot healthier. So the Packers, I think, will be running a ton. Jaden Reed is hurt. They will be running a ton. You look over at the running back room, Marshawn Lloyd, his backup, is hurt. So it's going to be all Josh Jacobs all the time. The touchdown upside is incredible. So Josh Jacobs, for me, is an amazing start week 1. He was one of my favorite players to draft this year as well, with Marshawn Lloyd getting hurt. Unfortunate for him, but absolutely Josh Jacobs, absolute deal. And we look at how he started last season, not so good. Honestly, not so good. And I think last season was his first year with the Packers as well. Not so good to start. But when you go into, let's go into week 5, he was RB10, week 7, RB13, week 8, RB3, and then week 11, he goes on a tear. RB5, RB2, RB5, RB4, RB6, RB12. Absolutely insane run where he's scoring so many touchdowns against some good teams, including Detroit, who he scored 24 points against last season, RB4. I'm pretty excited to see what he does in this week 1 matchup. He's going to be heavily relied on, and I love his touchdown upside in this game. This is another great guy for a DFS lineup because he will be cheaper than he should be. A lot of people will be spending high on guys like Gibbs, who does have the insane potential. I'm not saying don't use Gibbs for your lineup, but Josh Jacobs is an incredible choice because he's going to be a little bit cheaper, and the value is going to be insane week 1. And now we're to the best of the best. And at RB3, I've got Bijan Robinson, who, again, to be the top 3, you have to have an incredible week, and I think that's going to happen week 1 against the Bucs. They've got some hurt players. Darnell Mooney may or may not play. It's looking unlikely that he'll play week 1. Maybe he does. But with Darnell Mooney out, the receiving volume will be huge. Drake London, my favorite wide receiver of the week. Walter Picks has Drake London as the wide receiver 1 for that reason. The volume is going to be crazy in this high-scoring, high-pressure game against the Buccaneers. And Bijan Robinson, he's just going to crush. The one tip I want to add here, because you guys I know you're already starting Bijan, but make sure you add Tyler Algier. I posted today on the Walter Picks page that Tyler Algier is a must-add. He's available in 64% of leagues. And if Bijan ever did get hurt, Tyler Algier would probably still be in this video each and every week as a top 15 RB. So make sure he's not on waiver wires. Make sure you add Tyler Algier. But hopefully Bijan stays healthy. A little knock on wood here. But he's going to be insane week 1 with the receiving work, especially with Darnell Mooney hurt. RB2. I know he was hurt for almost the entire season last year. I drafted him number 1 overall last year, so that hurt so bad. But right now, he is healthy. His backups are hurt. Christian McCaffrey is going to be insane for the 49ers, especially with Juwan Jennings hurt. He's unlikely to play week 1. Brandon Ayuk hurt. It's Ricky Pearsall, who I love for week 1 as well. George Kittle, who's amazing as well. And then CMC as the main options. And Purdy's going to crush as well. This offense is always good. Everyone on this offense is majorly efficient, and CMC is going to be amazing. I know last year he wasn't the best when he was healthy. You know, he wasn't even ever healthy. But we go back to 2023 in the Walter Picks app. That's why I like the advanced game logs. You see nearly every week he played, nearly every week, including the playoffs, 31 points, 29 points, 28 points. I mean, that's him in the playoffs. Last season, 25, 22, 22, 48 points week 4 against the Cardinals. He was absolutely amazing. So I've got him at RB2, but I can't wait to talk about my RB1, which also includes my bet of the week. And we also have my sleeper coming up as well. My RB1 is, of course, Saquon Barkley. Now, here's where the bet of the week comes in, because you already know this guy's going to crush. But what I see happening is the Eagles. Everyone's being like, oh, they're going to pass more. They got a way harder schedule. They're facing off against the Cowboys week 1. They want to dominate this game. And what I see as domination is not putting the ball into the air. But we have had A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith with lower body, I think, soft tissue injuries throughout the last couple of weeks. So there's no reason to put some extra pressure on those guys. Their lines are set at about 4.5 catches for week 1, both of them. So obviously that's not a ton of volume. This will be the Saquon Barkley show. That's how you dominate the Cowboys in week 1, is you roll out Saquon Barkley and you just run and you run and you run till they cannot stop it. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I could see multiple touchdowns. I could see, like, this could be the 200-yard legacy game to start off the season. Let's look at his game log real quick. And last season, look at his rush yards: 109 week 1, 147 week 3, 159 week 9. He had 258 yards against the Rams. I could see it being one of those types of game. So my favorite prop of the week is the Saquon Barkley rushing yards. I think he's going to be used heavily. He's going to dominate this game. Now let's get to my sleeper of the week. My sleeper of the week is David Montgomery. And guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. We will be making videos like this every single week. And David Montgomery, he is back. He is healthy. He is ready to go. And look, he was RB16 last year. Right now, he's being rated towards more like a flex play. And I think almost a must start in every week. Last year, week 1, 16 points. Week 2, 17 points. Week 3, 21 points. 15 points, 21 points. Then he went a little bit cold. 8, 14, 12, 12, 24 points, 16 points, 15 points, 19 points. I'm sorry to read off his entire year, but he was extremely impressive every single week. He had 4 in RB8. He was top 10 multiple times last year. He was a steal in drafts this year. I think a must start week 1, essentially because last season, when he was healthy, he was almost always a top 15 guy. And I think this week he's majorly underrated and a great wide receivers are next. So make sure you hit that subscribe. And for all your best fantasy football start sits, trades, waiver wire ads, make sure you have the Walter Picks app through the profile, through the link tree. Sign up with code NOBS. You can sync unlimited leagues.